For the guard, we're gonna do a brass guard. And I've decided what I'll do is one layer of brass and then a thin layer of this cocobolo, just so basically you'll be able to see a little bit of the grain going through it. And then there'll be one more layer of brass. And then when I sandwich these together, I'm gonna, after I slot for the tang, I'm gonna drill 2 16th-inch holes and put these little 16th-inch pin stock pieces in here. And then that way I can drill these holes through each piece and then into the handle. That way they'll lock together, and then as I'm shaping them, they won't move or anything like that. So the first thing I need to do is decide how long I need my guard material. So I want to go a little past the spine and then a little past the cutting edge. So I'm going to guess about there is what I'll need for the length. Then I'm also going to need a sliver from this cocobolo. Pieces are cut. Now I need a slot all this stuff for the tang. The most important one is the piece that'll be up against the shoulders here. What I like to do is I like to get close to center, scribe a line, flip it around, scribe the same line on the other side, and then basically you'll have a center line. You don't really have to measure. So I have that center line, and then what I'll do is I'll set this on here so that the shoulders are in line with the center line, and I'll put this piece where I'm going to want it to sit, and then I'll scribe 2 lines, one on each side of the tang. Now I know exactly where my slot needs to be distance wise. Then the last thing you need to do is measure the thickness at 5/32, and then I'll go half that, which is 5/64 right there, lock it, and then I'll put my straight edge on the center line. And then with the back side, I'll just run a line like that. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll go back to 5/32 right there, and I'll lock it. And then I'll get my straight edge on the line I just scribed, like that. And then scribe the other side. Now you have 2 lines with the thickness of your tang. While I have my 5/32 locked down in here, I'm going to mark for my holes that I need to drill. So I'm going to go about halfway from the end line and make a mark. And then I'm going to line these up at 5/32, make a mark, 5/32, make a mark, like so. And those are the 3 holes that I'm going to drill. And now that I have my marks for where I need to drill my holes, I'm going to use a center punch and punch some indents to start the drill bit. All right, so I wasn't really thinking when I did the spacing on my holes. I was doing 5/32 inch, not thinking that I was gonna drill smaller. So normally I would space them so that the holes are the diameter of the drill bit apart. So that way you connect when you drill the holes. So now I've just got to connect the holes with my Dremel. All right, and once you get your slot close, you can take your knife and start fitting it up here. We might be to the point where we can just hammer it on. I've got this super high-tech piece of equipment that I use to smash these down with. This piece of galvanized pipe that I just smashed over. And it may not work on this because that bend is in the tang is too much. It looks like we have a nice snug fit on there. All right, so I got all of these pieces slotted up. The important one, nice and square. The other ones, they're not as pretty, but they really don't have to be. The other thing I did was that I drilled these two 16th inch holes through the middle piece and through the bottom piece, or the handle side piece, and then halfway through the top piece. So what'll happen is that these pins will go in here like so, and then through that one. So these will all go together like this and be lined up with these pins, and then these pins will go into the handle as soon as I'm ready for that. So what I've done is I've created a piece that I can shape off of the knife, and it's going to stay in one solid piece with these alignment pins. So the next step is on this top piece, I'm going to put some layout fluid and then scribe the shape that I want, so that I can grind the profile of this guard. Layout fluid's on. So the first thing I need to do is mark the middle of the slot on the front and back. And then I'm going to draw a center line. Okay, so I'm going to do the width of this guard at about 5/8 of an inch. And then for the back, it's going to be rounded. I have this little template that I like to use because it makes things really easy. Scribe the circle, and then when you get to the front, you basically just need to decide where you want to start tapering to get the rounded edge in the front. I think about here. Then decide how wide you want that. Circle, and then just draw some lines. And this will probably be adjusted as I think things need to change as I'm grinding, but this is a good starting point. So now I can put all these pieces together and just grind the profile. All right, now I fit all the pieces back onto the knife. And this is where I'm going to stop until I get the handle fitted. That way I know where my curve needs to stop, like all my contours and stuff. So the next step will be fitting up the handle.